Hi friends, it's us, Jacob and Stella. And today I'm very excited to let you know that we are having our first guest from UK, Irene Remelie, with us today. And we're gonna chat with Irene. And if you have any questions you want to ask, feel free to drop them in the comment. And also feel free to let us know where you are watching from, whether it's the live or the replay. Thank you so much. And Irene, thank you so much for joining us today.
I'm so excited to be with you both. Hi, Stella. Hi, Jacob. Hello to anybody else who jumps on and joins us.
Thank you so much. And we know you're from UK, but tell us about yourself. Where do you actually live? And
oh wow. So I live in a place called Cheshire in the UK. It's a very country area. We've got quite a lot of castles where we live. I've got about 2 castles about a mile down the road, lots of canals, and I live here with my husband, my 2 children, Amelie and Noah, who are both now both 11 and 13. And I've lived in a little very twee village all of my life. There's not even shops where I live.
Wow.
Just a field. But it is awesome. And for the past, my background has always been working in media. So for 19 years, I was a radio presenter. Also did some TV presenting. And then I went on to have my children. Wanted to be a stay-at-home mum, so then I became an author. So I wrote a book as well.
Wow, that kind of explains why your online presence is so well presented, so professional. I thought you're in the business for a really long time because you're just so well presented on the internet, and because you're a talk show host before. I didn't know that.
Jacob, that's why I talk a lot. So, I worked in radio for 19 years. I used to do singing as well. Wow. But I had my own breakfast show. So, talking was what I used to get paid for. So it was a lot of fun.
So how long have you been working as your own boss online? And how does it change your life so far?
Oh gosh, I think for me, so what actually happened was, going back 14 years ago, me and my husband waited till I was in my early 30s to have children because I wanted to be a stay-at-home mum. And so he had a great job and we became pregnant with our first child and he got made redundant and we were, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? So it was going back 14 years ago that I decided to become an entrepreneur, as in, do you know what? I can't work for anyone else anymore because I have to make my life work around my children. Mm-hmm. So it was back 14 years ago that I just kind of bit the bullet and was really nervous and scared, but I thought it's now or never. Otherwise I'll be owned by someone else. So for 14 years, I was working with different sorts of businesses. I've had previous businesses that I've worked in that have been what you might call brick and mortar or not necessarily online. So the business that we work in online has been just under 2.5 years. And for me, that was an absolute necessity because everything was going online. This was a game changer for me.
Wow, that's impressive. Because you talked about children, and I'm going to let Stella ask you some questions because she's also a mom.
Yeah, I've seen you, I'm following you too. Maybe Jacob do the same. I'm admiring so much, and I'm just curious when you say you were a presenter before, right? So, you seem enjoying your previous job, and what makes you decided to jump into online? Is there any event in your life that, okay, this is it, I have to go online now?
Yeah, well, you'll relate then, won't you? Because I think for me, everything changed when I had children. So I love my job. However, it was a very demanding job. I was either presenting or I was opening shops, or we might have been interviewing celebrities or whatever it might be. So I knew that I would have not really much time to be a mum. It just didn't fit flexibly, and my priorities changed. So I still do radio presenting sometimes, but I do it as a paid hobby as opposed to a need for money. So the reason that I wanted to go online with having the kids was, if they were poorly, I could pick them up from school, or if not only just that, it was more to do with my family as a whole. So if my mum and dad needed me, it was recognizing that anytime I had a job, I was always going to be owned by somebody else, in the sense that I couldn't call the shots. So having a digital business was absolutely imperative, because now not only did I control my own time and my money, I could take it around with me on my phone. So it was even better, because other roles or other businesses might not, that you'd have to be present physically. And so, if I need to take a day off or I'm going on holiday, I can still just do it on my phone. So that was, my priorities changed, and I realized life is so short, and really I just wanted to spend as much time as possible with the people I love.
Yeah, I truly can resonate with you. Like my job previously, taking so much time, so much attention of myself with my kids. So I really know that. So what about your day to day now? Are you spending a lot of time doing your business, or how many hours a day?
Oh gosh. Do you know what? I this sounds awful. I do spend time on my business, but the difference is it's completely within my control. So for example, today, I wanted to go and sit in the back garden and soak up the sun. I had a jacuzzi. I do a lot of things that are centered around self-care. But then I do commit to my business, because this is all I currently do. I might do maybe at least a couple of hours a day, for sure, but that's because this is all I do. So when I first started, I was probably maybe doing half an hour a day or so, but now sometimes I might spend an entire day, like a solid 10 hours working on my business, but then I might take 2 or 3 days off. So a day for me wakes up, I get up, I will normally do some meditating, I will make sure the kids are up and sent to school. Sometimes I might get back in bed and have a nap. Other times, I will sit there and really, I'll always touch my business. So that's the first thing I do. But I will plan my days to suit me, basically. So sometimes I'll take the day off, but I might work in the evening. So it's a very flexible and relaxed life.
Sounds really good, to be honest. That's kind of what we are doing right now. The pandemic, we all just staying home. So self-care is number one. And I think me too. The first thing I get up in the morning is actually read the affirmations. It's not something that I was doing before, but I know that it's very common for business people to do that in the morning. So I've been doing that in the morning. The rest is just kind of like you, very controlled, decided by myself, to be honest. And how long did it take you to set your business up once you, how long did it take you?
So when I first started, this for me was like my fallback and my retirement and my funds. I was still doing bits and bobs on the radio. I ran workshops with my book, but they're all physical things. So when I first started, I started this around other commitments. And it probably took me a couple of weeks of, doing bits and bobs here. If I'd have sat there solidly, I could have nailed it in a couple of days, but I took it a bit slower. I got set up and running in about 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, me too. I don't know if you went through a little fear or self-doubt that you just want to make sure everything is done properly. And then that's what took me longer. But now if I look back, I probably could have done it in a couple of days, but it just, everything is so new. You're like excited that you want to enjoy the the processes, I guess. And then it took me 3 weeks because I was watching all the training few times before I start doing things. So
I wanted to do it like yesterday. So I had no technical experience whatsoever, absolutely clueless. So I was like mad rushing things. And really I should have took it a little bit slower. But even considering I didn't have none of that experience, I still managed to get everything kind of up and running. But it was about 2 to 3 weeks. And some people I've noticed do it in a couple of days, and other people it might take them longer. We are the only variable, really. We can go as slow or as fast as we like. And initially I didn't have that desperation. So when I became an entrepreneur years ago, we went into loads of debt. We were really struggling. And at that time, we were in a very desperate situation where it was a matter of, I didn't sleep. I worked and breathed businesses. So when I came into this I knew to hit my goals, I was going to take it steady and at my own pace. And I reassure people that all the time, because, if you want to earn, if you're in a job where you're not earning a 6-figure income, don't expect to earn 6 figures in a couple of weeks. But if you are prepared to put in the time and work and you want to go faster, you can do what you want with this business, and that's the beauty of it.
Now you mentioned that you didn't have too much technical background, but you knew how to operate social media. You know how to just like the normal stuff. Did you? I did.
Yeah, I knew how to post a picture on Facebook. I had watched all the other stuff, and I used to think, oh gosh, if only I could do that. And that's what the training has taught me, is to be able to do the stuff that I used to be in awe of. I mean, I could send an email and I could post on Facebook, but that was about it.
Yeah, me too. The thing is, like, the business actually teach me about, like, when you see a post going through Facebook newsfeed, if it says sponsor, it's an ad.
Yeah.
I didn't know that before. I just saw, oh, what is this? It's just like random stuff that they're not connected to my friends, but I'm just somehow looking at them. So once I get into the business, I realized that, oh, okay, those were ads. They are published by legit business that it's reviewed by Facebook policy. So that's something that I learned after the business. So imagine that. Like, before, I was totally clueless. But yeah.
I was too. But then what I realized was, as I become aware of what we're taught in our business, then I could understand why. Now I knew why people are having really big success. Previously, I just used to think that they were great and they were super popular and they had a big following, and and I used to look at them and think, oh wow, that's how they've done it. But when you understand what we teach you about advertising, then you can really see why other people were getting results, because we didn't have that knowledge or understanding.
Yeah.
But also, I think it's like you said, you recognize that those were all legitimate businesses then.
Yeah, I didn't know before, right? But after that, I realized that they're legitimate business, and I start to use the service and purchase products off my newsfeed. I wasn't doing that before because I thought maybe they were scam or they were just not legit. But after I learned about everything that I had learned, I realized that they're real business. But it doesn't really mean everything on the newsfeed they're good. They're good product, bad product, good servers and bad servers. But at least they're legit business, and Facebook is watching out for the user for sure. Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, for me, when I first looked at our business, because I have a background in media, same for anyone really, we have to be careful with what we put our names to, so when I came across our business, I literally stalked this business, and I ripped it apart. I pulled it apart so that I could see what it was all about, because I was going to be putting my name to it, same as Stella, same as you. And that was when I was like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely mind-blowing. This is fantastic.
Irene, I see you very successful. You said it's under 2.5 years because of this business, and then you are very, very successful. I'm just curious, where do you see yourself in 3 or 5 years? Like,
In
how do you see yourself?
do you know what the potential?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the potential's endless, and I'm really excited because I think, you know, in this day and age, everyone's now trying to get online, and to try and learn those skills on your own is really hard, and it could take people a long time. But the skills that we're taught, and because we're updating them daily, if not weekly, it allows us to go a lot quicker. So I guess in the next 5 years, oh my gosh, I mean, I'm so blessed and grateful already for my life that sometimes I take it for granted. I mean, I've worked hard to get where I've got, but I think now my goal was always to be a stay-at-home mom and to do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. And that's what I do now. So in the next 5 years, I think I'd like to own property abroad. I'd like to take more family members away on holiday. I'd like it's a bigger thing, the extension of being able to give what you've got to everybody else then.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That's beautiful. And I'm excited for you. And I want to ask you this because you have experience in business and also online business. You know, since 2020, there are a lot of people, they are looking for business online just because of the pandemic, right? And also there are a lot of scams, non-legitimate things out there. If somebody is actively looking for an online business but just so lost, what advice would you give them?
Right. Do you know, first of all, anybody that is looking to do something online, you've got to make sure that it's verified. So one of the things that Stella and Jacob have with their business, with our businesses, is people can actually go through our process and you will see it's verified and secured. So first of all, if anyone is looking at purchasing or any sort of program or training, look for things that are verified. Do your research. And make sure that it is legitimate. We tick all the boxes with what we do. But what I would say to people is you know, there are so many opportunities online, and half the time people don't realize the investment that goes behind them and the hard work. For 4 years prior to joining and working alongside you guys, I researched for 4 years. And for me, it was because this ticked the boxes. We have an automated platform. We get a mentor and a coach. The training is provided. It's a secure payment. If someone has a look at our program, they've got 30 days to get a refund. So that's what ticked all the boxes for me. So if you are now looking at going online, pay attention to making sure it's secured, verified, that you can get a refund, and access to a mentor and a coach, so that you're going to get that support. That is so important.
No, thank you. The mentorship and the coachingship, that's two of the most important things to me, because it's something new to learn when it's an online business. The human the factor element inside is so crucial for me. If it wasn't for the mentorship in it, I probably wouldn't do the business. It was just like training, right? No. Yeah.
It's so true though. You know, if you go and look at a lot of businesses now, you're in it on your own. So no matter what you do, whether you buy a brick and mortar business or you buy a franchise, you're literally kind of, well, there you go, there it is, bye-bye. Whereas our community is and because we're worldwide, like you guys are in Vancouver, you're in BC, I'm in the UK, we've got a support system that caters for all of us. It's 24/7. So that's really important, because no matter what any business anyone does, you are going to need, you know, I think sometimes people look at our business and go, well, hold on, that person's earning 6 figures a month or 6 figures a year or 6 figures a day, and they think it's like super duper easy. It is easier than most things out there. However, that's because the support, the coaching and the mentorship is in place.
Yeah, thank you so much for saying that. Made me realize that one of the things that I kind of forget, not so grateful anymore, but I am really grateful because I'm a little bit self-sufficient now, so I haven't get help from the 24 support system, but it's there. I'm so grateful that it's there. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your story, your experience, and your knowledge today. Thank you so much.
Guys, Stella, Jacob, I'll be over to see you as soon as this is all over and we can go and
Please
party
do.
together.
Yay.
Yes, please. Yay. Thank
Thanks,
you
guys.
so much. I will see you guys next week.